Welcome back to the channel, where we bring real stories from the forgotten corners of history and the quiet lives that shape the Wild West. If you love incredible true tales and powerful human moments, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you never miss out. Now, let's ride into today's story. This is the remarkable tale of a retired cowboy who spent years alone, convinced life had given him all it could. That is, until 5 Apache widows came knocking on his door, changing everything he thought he knew about loneliness, forgiveness, and second chances. The cowboy's name was Thomas Briggs. Folks in the small Arizona town nearest his ranch used to call him Straight Back Tommy. In his younger days, he worked every trail a man could ride, driving cattle through storms, fighting rustlers, and chasing the horizon from Texas all the way to Montana. But when the West grew quieter and the railroads replaced the open trails, Tommy found himself with no family left and no reason to keep drifting. So, he bought a stretch of lonely land just outside the San Carlos Apache reservation. The ranch wasn't much, a leaning barn, a small wooden cabin, and grass that grew patchy in the desert heat. But it was his. With age settling into his bones, Tommy figured he'd live out his days in silence, just the wind, the mountains, and the ghosts of the old frontier to keep him company. He lived like that for nearly 15 years. Each day, he woke before sunrise, fed the few horses he still kept, mended fences that didn't need mending, and talked to no one but his old hound dog, Briscoe. When townsfolk saw him, they'd tip their hats respectfully. They knew he liked his solitude. Some said he was hiding from memories, others said he'd simply outlived everyone who ever cared about him. But the truth was, deep down, Tommy Briggs was lonely. He missed laughter. He missed the sound of another voice answering his. One scorching afternoon, as Tommy was hauling feed by the barn, Briscoe began barking, loud, frantic. Tommy grabbed his rifle, thinking maybe a cougar had wandered too close. But when he stepped outside, he froze. 5 Apache women stood at the edge of his property. Their long dresses were dusty from travel, and grief weighed heavy in their eyes. They carried little, just small bundles tied in blankets. The oldest among them stepped forward and introduced herself in a soft but firm voice. "My name is Apache. These are my sisters. We have lost our husbands." Tommy lowered his rifle slowly. The women looked exhausted, like they had been walking for days under the burning sun. Apache continued, "We heard rumors, that you were alone out here. That you were a kind man. We asked for shelter, just for a little while." Tommy didn't know what to say. He had spent so long convincing himself that he didn't need anyone. But as he looked at them, tired, hungry, desperate, his heart cracked open. "Well, I ain't got much," he muttered. "But what I have, you're welcome to share." He guided them inside, helped them find some water, and quietly cooked what little food he had left from the week. The widows thanked him, bowing their heads respectfully. One of them, a younger woman named Nayeli, noticed Tommy struggling to lift the heavy cast iron pot and moved to help. It had been years since anyone had helped Tommy with anything. After dinner, Tommy asked what had happened. Their husbands were Apache scouts who had assisted the U.S. Army years back, but times changed fast. The world forgot their sacrifices. Recently, a sickness spread through their settlement. All 5 husbands were taken within a month, leaving the women widowed, cast aside by distant relatives who saw them as burdens. "We will work," Apache promised. "We do not ask for charity. Just a place to rest and live in peace." That night, Tommy couldn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling of his cabin, hearing faint sobs from where the widows slept in the other room. He realized that while he had chosen to be alone, these women had not. Life had pushed them into sorrow. The next morning, he tried something he hadn't done since his cattle driving days. He smiled. To his surprise, his ranch, once silent and still, transformed almost overnight. The widows cleaned the cabin, mended torn saddles, tended the small garden Tommy had let go dry. They fed the chickens, sewed curtains, and even convinced Tommy to adopt 2 orphaned goats they found wandering. Their laughter, something Tommy hadn't heard in years, filled the air like birdsong. One evening, just as the sun dipped behind the mountains, Tommy and Apache sat outside sipping coffee. The desert sky glowed orange and pink. Apache asked softly, "Why did you choose to live alone?" Tommy stared out at the horizon. "Lost my wife long ago," he said. "Never could make peace with it. Figured if I stayed away from folks, I couldn't lose no one again." Apache nodded. "Loss is a heavy stone. But carrying it alone makes it heavier." Tommy felt her words strike deep. In the silence that followed, he realized his years of solitude had been less about avoiding pain, and more about avoiding healing. Weeks passed, then months. The widows became like family, each one bringing life to a corner of the ranch once left to crumble. And Tommy became something like a protector to them, a steady presence they could trust. In town, rumors spread. Some mocked the unusual arrangement. Others admired Tommy's courage and kindness. But Tommy didn't care much what anyone thought. He had a new purpose. The ranch prospered more than ever. The Apache widows brought with them knowledge of the land, how to find water where none seemed to flow, how to grow herbs that healed aching joints, how to tame wild horses with just a whisper. One day, Tommy gathered everyone by the barn. His voice wavered slightly as he spoke. "You all came here needing a home. But the truth is, I reckon I needed one too. This ranch, it ain't mine alone anymore. It's ours, and if you'll have me, I'd like to spend the rest of my years with you all right here." A pony placed her hand over his. "We already chose to stay," she said. "You saved us, now let us save you." Tommy Briggs, the cowboy who once rode across every lonely mile of the West, finally found what he had been chasing all his life, not adventure, not fortune, but family. Years later, when Tommy passed peacefully in his sleep, he wasn't alone. The 5 widows cared for him to the very end. They buried him beneath a tall juniper tree overlooking the ranch he loved. A simple wooden marker stood above his grave with a message carved by a pony herself. He opened his door and his heart. In return, he found both home and love. The ranch remained theirs, a place of safety, compassion, and second chances. Thank you for watching this beautiful story of kindness and unexpected family. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and share this video with anyone who loves true tales of the Wild West. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Until next time, keep your heart open, because you never know who might need your help, or who might save you right back.